we've done here. So the first question is all about the rule of 72. Estimate how long it will take for the investment to double. So 72 divided by 6.5. You don't turn it into a decimal, okay? It's important that you don't do that with a rule of 72. And that's 11.08 years. So you get a mark for having that show up there. And then using this answer, we will figure out how long our investment how long will it take to get to 24,000. So you just go at 0, we've got 3,000. At 11.08, this turns into 6. Another 11.08 go by, that's 22.16. You're at 12 there. Another 11.08 gets you to 33.24, and that's when you're at 24,000. Okay, you stop there. So it will take 33.24 years. Decimals are fine. What if it asked you how old will Caleb be? Then they obviously would have to give you the age at the time of investing, and then you would add this, and then you run around, okay? Or the year this is happening, right? So that's how it's different. Another mark for this one, so I would say you have to show this work to come up with a 33.24, or else it doesn't work. And of course, if you made a mistake here, you lose this mark, but I would still give you this step mark if you show me that you're using that reasoning, okay? Next, Trina would like to save up $5,400 in 5 years. Purchased a 5-year GIC, Guaranteed Investment Certificate, which earns 4.75 compounded quarterly. A, determine the monthly deposits needed to get to the goal. And I wish I would have this just printed sometimes, but the province won't. So I'm just going to leave, because they don't want you to, they want you to figure out that TVM solver is needed. Okay? And how do you know it's TVM solver? Right? It's making a reference to monthly deposits, right? So there's no other way. So compounding is quarterly. Payments per year, that's 12. Future value is what we know in this case. We know the future value. We want that much money. We want to find out how much to put away. The present value is 0 at first. The interest rate is 4.75. Yeah. Because it says determine the monthly deposits. N is 5 times 12, so that's 60. In this case, it'll be 60 periods, and the periods are months, right? So when you solve that, you get negative 79.95. And so we'll just make sure that 79.95 a month is needed. Okay, so if you're wanting to go to Mexico, right, and you're like, hey, from now until then, how much do I need to put away with the interest? This is how you do it. Okay. B, what's B asking for? How much interest will she have earned once the GIC matures? You can use this one from the very first to the very last. This is years times PY, okay? So 5 years times PY, that is 60. And this would give you 602.98. Okay. How else could you have done that? If you'd like the formula rather, the formula calls for future value minus present value, which is 0, minus N, right, times the payments. The present value is 0, so it just reduces to that. You get the same answer. Okay, you get the same answer. Oh, actually, what's going on here? 693. 693 is if you do it by hand, sorry. And why is that? Because there's some rounding issues, but you do not lose any marks, okay? So you're off by 2 cents here, but it's fine. If you show your work, you will not lose any marks. You don't have to worry about it. What's that? 91. Oh yeah. Hold on. You okay there? Okay. There you go. Let me see here. 5,400 minus 60 times 79.95. 603. I was just testing you, as always. Okay. I wonder what Google Notes LM does with something like this. As obviously your teacher isn't that good because there was a big mistake made. But anyways, disregarding that, let's go back to our point, right? C, rate of return. It's the interest earned, which we already know. I'm going to use this one. Divided by how much you've put in. And how much have you put in this case? 60 payments of $79.95. That is what came out of your pocket, right? Times 100. So that would be $692.98 divided by 4,797 times 100. And that gives you 12.57%. That's what rate of return is. Gains divided by how much you invested, right? Gains in this case is the interest earned. In the market, we don't call it interest earned, it's just how much it has gained. So 602. So this is your answer there. So for C, 1 mark. You're the teacher today, so, oh wait, rate of return, I said 2 marks. I will say this, for the 47.97 to show up, I give you 1 mark just for that, and then another mark for actually calculating the rate of return as a percentage. D, Trina wonders how much her GIC will be worth after 3 years. Determine the balance, I kind of give it away after 3 years. So that's when you need to use this one. If you want to kind of like zoom in and wonder how much do I have along the way, balance only takes 1 entry. And it's years times PY. That's what you need to enter into it. So because it's 3 years and PY is 12, you really want to use balance 36. Do you need to show this? Absolutely not. You can go straight to balance 36, and that is 3,085.97. So that's how much money you would have 3 years into your investment. Okay, so that's when you need to call on balance to help you out there. Is there another way of doing this? Yes. You would go into your TDM solver, okay, listen to this one, and instead of 5 times 12, what would you put in here? 3 times 12, and then you would have to solve for the future value. That's another way of doing it. Okay, so you will wonder sometimes why I'm not doing it another way is because I don't want to confuse. If you figure out another way of doing it and you're not sure, ask me or ask Google Notes LM, right? Like there's actually a chat that you can interact with, which is kind of crazy. Next, 3. On Andre's 20th birthday, he invested $5,000, then started making regular $150 deposits every 2 weeks, once down payment, 3.5% semi-annually. At what age will he have more than 18,000? Round your nearest year. So let's do that. PY, CY. Okay, interest rate, we have 3.5. He invested $5,000, so that's like our big one-time amount, and then we make $150 contributions. We want to know $18,000 is going to be my future value in this case. Okay, positive, because In the future, it's kind of assumed you're taking it back, okay? Payments per year, what is that? 26, because it says biweekly. And compounding, we are told that this is compounded semi-annually, so that is 2. Okay? So the key here is to solve for n, and you get 78, 742 and something, okay? I'm just leaving it like that. And so how many years would that be? 78.742 something divided by PY. So that amounts to 3.02 something years that have gone by, okay? So age will be 20 plus 3.02 something. So that's 23 rounded, right? 23 years old, if you want to be specific. Anybody say 24? 24 would be all right with the province, because you will for sure have more than 18,000 at 24, right? For sure. Not. So whenever you have a decimal like this, yeah, it just you gotta watch out. What am I asking for? Is it how many years? How long in years? Then its decimals are just fine. Okay. Marks wise, okay, this is how TVM solver works. Okay, I should have done that earlier. Let's go back up to A here. To A, you get 2 marks for all entries correct in your TVM solver. If there's 1 mistake, you go -1. Okay. If there are 2 mistakes, unfortunately, 0. That's how the province rolls. Same with this TVM solver. You get 2 marks for the TVM solvers and entries, and of course your solution, and then you get 1 more mark for coming up with the age of Andre. So we are at a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, as the AC indicates. We are out of 11, so make sure your name is on there.